guys, to episode number 1. I feel extremely awkward in doing this. Just not normal for me, and one of the reasons why I have this idea to document part of my week to a certain extent, and me and Alicia's week, and our family's week, is not because I think my life is that interesting. It is, but because I believe that God is doing something interesting. And this has been about 8 years since I've been full-time, to a certain extent, following God in what I believe is His calling for me and for my wife and for my family. And about 20 years since I've been actually serving the Lord with my heart. And a lot of it, I wish I still had some of that, some of the thoughts, some of the footage, things like that, just to look back on and see, wow, look how far God has brought us. And I really believe that we, not just our family, but even our ministry, that we belong to, Tabernacle of God Church, is at the beginning of something still, even though we've been around for 35 years. And so part of this is to document not just my process, but also the journey, and to show and dictate and to show what God is going to do. So years from now, we can look back and see, wow, look what God has done. Look how far He's brought us. So I want to invite you on this journey with us.
And so once again,
there's only one man clever enough to have perpetrated such a dastardly crime.
Ha! And I thought you were ready to give up.
Something that we do about once a week. So instead of the kids going to school 5 days a week, they do school at home. And about once a week, we take them to a school to kind of interact with other kids and get different teachers. And so we're heading over to the one that we've been doing for 4 years at our church, which also tends to be, this is going to be the last time last day that we will be doing it also. We started like 4 years ago, kind of saying, hey, this could be an amazing outreach for our community if, as a church, we could establish kind of like just a homeschool co-op, just offering classes for different kids in the community and for especially the homeschool community at our church. And we were hoping to use it as an outreach, a means of serving our community, and we did. I mean, it did serve its purpose, but it didn't really take off the way we'd liked, or maybe the way we hoped. So this is going to be our last class that we're having for a while, or who knows if ever. What's crazy is that I just didn't work. Sometimes God might allow us to do stuff and be a part of something, and the purpose is the success that we'll get out of it is not necessarily in doing something great. I think I found a lot of successes in failures, and we tried something, it didn't work, but then in the process we learned a little bit more about us, we learned a little bit more about the community, we learned a little bit more even about God. And so I thought it was really interesting how sometimes the point of the process is again, it's the journey, not just the destination. It's becoming, not just doing. And that involves the good, the bad, the successes and the failures. And so right now, homeschooling is a great option for us us because it allows us to spend extra time with the kids. Plus, it allows us to kind of stay in control of our schedule, because a lot of times, you know, at least for right now where we're at, our weeks can be unpredictable. Our weeks are hectic, you know, especially like today. Alicia's cleaning houses. That's why she's not here with me. She's not here because she's cleaning houses. And some of those houses sometimes come up sporadically. Sometimes we can plan them. But then a lot of times, like this week alone, I have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday night, I have something. Saturday morning, I have something. And I think I have one free weekend from here until June, you know, and it's April. And so the fact that this gives us a little bit of flexibility to be apart, be together as a family, and it's kind of nice for right now. We'll see how long it lasts.
But anyways, I want to ask you a question about that, because, you know, today was my last day of being a teacher. You know, I taught at a high school, middle school for 9 years, you know, almost the whole time we've been married, and we did it you know, it was just a job to try to supplement a lot of what was, you know, the ministry that God was calling us to do. A couple years ago, we were able to go full time, but I still had to teach on the side. This is the first time in 12 years that I'll only have one responsibility. Even you know, you and me to a certain extent, one responsibility. And so I don't know. I already missed the money. I don't know. What about you?
A little bit.
But I mean, how do you? But no, how do you feel about that? Because
I'm excited. I'm excited because last time, I feel like the first little step when we went, technically you went full time, because you quit your most full-time income. That was a very scary step, but I'm actually excited this time, more than scared of not relying on that other little income, and seeing what God's going to do with the more time we have to invest in the church and in the ministry God has called us to.
I mean, as much as I don't know, it's like I was the way I thought about it is, and this is where I felt like even processing it and what I felt God was calling us to do. It's like one of those things where, you know, where I'm gonna pull. I mean, how many hours have I been that it takes for me to teach? I mean, what, on a Monday it's
From 9 to 2:30.
From 9 to 2, so it's, you know, 3. I'm doing math super fast in my head. 3, 5. Okay, 5 hours. I mean, that's probably maybe the equivalent of maybe 8 hours in my week that I was dedicating to teaching that. Even though I was only teaching 1 day a week, it was, you know, grades and calling and different things like that. So even though I can probably take those 8 hours and do something else where I can get paid, I'm really excited about, I don't know, it was a little bit about what we're doing, because I really feel like God is doing something brand new now, like almost like we're starting over. I mean, it feels really weird that we're starting over, right?
Okay.
Yeah, again. I mean, 8 years ago, we launched, you know, God led us to go do something, start an English church, and it was going fine. And then it says, okay guys, I know everything's going good and whatnot. Now I need you to do this over here and pretty much start all over again. And I'm like, what? Like I know it didn't make sense.
Yeah.
I don't know. It still doesn't feel like it.
Still doesn't make sense.
It still doesn't feel like it makes sense. But I feel like, you know what, I know that time was not a waste, because I mean, people got saved that didn't get saved before. People came to know Jesus who didn't know him before. And so, but now, I feel like all of that was even, you know, a learning curve, a learning process or something now. And so I know, like with this time right now, I know that putting this extra 8-9 hours in a week into helping other ministries do what they got to do, helping, pouring it into leading and mentoring and more face-to-face people stuff. I know it's going to pay off in the long run. And it's one of those things where it's just like, I know what God's going to do. I feel like I know what God's going to do, and I want to see it now.
Yeah.
I don't want to wait. Like, I want to see it now. I want to pop it in the microwave, 30 seconds, pull it out, with 2 seconds left, and then I want to already enjoy it. But yeah, I know it's that long-term approach, but I know in the end it's going to make the biggest difference. And I can't wait to look, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, 10 years from now, and watch this.
Well, today is what, April 23rd?
Can't wait just to see them, like, wow, look at that, like, the little, just the more seeds that we're planting and watering, just to see what God's gonna do through all that. So I'm excited about it.
Cool.
Sure.
Yeah.
You good?
Let's do it.
This is a new little addition to the house we added. We converted this room. It's been about a year. And so we took an old room and we kind of turned it into an office where I can have worship. And it's mainly a big exercise room. You can see here, got a lot of my stuff. And like I was showing you, and then I got my cloffice. Okay, this is my little office I made in a closet. All right, you can kind of see there. All right, yes, those are Miami Dolphin colors. There's three, to me this room kind of symbolizes three things that I try to do every day, which is worship, work out, and work. And if I do it in those three, in that order, especially putting worship first, I really believe God blesses everything else. So that's my little formula for my work days and for really every day. Worship, work out, and work. Okay, one of the things I love about working out has taught me, and taking care of my health, but especially exercising. One of those things that I've learned the most is the secret. One of the things that I've learned the most is the value of patience. Because when it comes to exercise and working out, it requires patience. You got to put in the work. There's no shortcuts. And the longer you do it, the more consistent you are, that's when you begin to experience the reward. And I've been seeing that same correlation between exercising and faith, that it's all about putting in the work, pursuing the presence of God. Even if it's, if all you can do is just a little bit, but in doing it consistently, daily. And then there's no shortcuts, and there's no shortcuts in fitness, there's no shortcuts in faith. And the longer you do it, the more you see the results, the more you see God producing fruits in you. So those are one of the lessons that I've learned when it comes to workout. And in fact, my worship has actually been enhanced, and my work has both benefited by adding workout to the mix.
You know what? That vision was born out of a burden that we had for people who love God but didn't have anywhere to go to church. And that's where visions start. Visions begin with a burden. And let me just say, we're close. Wherever you are in ministry, there's got to be something that breaks your heart, that reflects the broken heart of God. Because that's what fuels vision. It doesn't fuel programming, it might, but it fuels vision. And if there's not something fueling your vision, if there's not something broken-hearted about you, and if there's not something broken-hearted about me, if I can watch those videos, those baptism videos that we saw a few minutes ago, and not get weepy, something wrong with me, something's not breaking my heart right.
about
All right, it is 9 o'clock. We're leaving youth today. How many people are here today?
17.
17. All right. So as of now, our average has been around 17 to 20. But honestly, one of the best, at least one of the coolest things that I got to experience today. I don't know what about your favorite part. My favorite part was at the end of the service when kids come up to you and they have questions or want to know more, or they're just honest, and I thought that was awesome. So I had a really good conversation with somebody. What about you?
So did I, actually. I had a good conversation with one of our girls that was going through something the past few weeks.
Shh, guys, quiet, please.
Her and I sat and had a conversation last week, and we prayed together, and she just wanted to give me a little report, and she took advice, and she's been doing what I suggested, and she's feeling a lot better, and
That's
so
cool.
that's always good.
No, I love when a kid is honest enough just to open up and just kind of even say, look, I might be struggling with this, or I haven't figured this out yet. I love to see that they're thinking and that they're processing and that they're trying. That to me is huge. And so I'll take 5 kids like that, over 500 people that just warm up a seat and just enter in and out. That's great. So we've been how long have we been doing this thing for?
The ones in New Mexico.
Going to clean the office.
It's gonna be about a year, maybe 9 months.
And so as of now, every day when we leave youth group, we head straight out to go clean an office. So we've been cleaning that office for about 9 months, almost a year now, and we bring the kids with us because they have no choice. But it only takes 30 minutes. It's something that I know it's annoying, but it's a little sacrifice that we make in order to keep on funding what God is doing. It allows us to have nights like today and have the availability and the freedom to be able to interact with kids beyond a Wednesday. And so, yeah, would I love to go home earlier? Yeah, but I don't know. I'm pretty sure you would. Would you love to just go home earlier?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. But what I love even more is that just a little sacrifice allows us to be able to experience and what we do with the kids even more. And so just being more present and available, I love that more. So it just makes all of this all of it worth it. I want you to think about this. 8 years ago, God put it on our heart to start the English ministry to kind of help build better bridges between the younger generations that are no longer connecting with Spanish culture and their families and all those things. And it was happening, it was doing it, and now God wants us to restart and to come into the youth ministry. But otherwise, the mission hasn't changed, the goal hasn't changed. Could you imagine? I think if we would have tried to do what we're trying to do now with the youth 8 years ago, it would have failed. It was wrong timing, You even think about it? That would have been really bad timing. It wouldn't have worked. And so we kind of got to get out, experience it, get a taste of it. We saw that it worked. And now the fact that we're going into the system and doing it from the inside out rather than just kind of outside in, I think we're going to see something really special that way. Okay.
Good morning. It's about 7:30 in the morning on a Thursday, and I am on my way to work. I've been cleaning houses for about 5 years now. I started when I was pregnant with JJ because we knew we needed that extra money ASAP. And I was supposed to be temporary, but it turned into something that became a little side part-time job for me, which I love because, one, being a stay-at-home mom for as long as I was, Josue is going to be 9, and I became a stay-at-home mom before he was even born. While I was pregnant with him, I was laid off from my job at WellCare, and they closed down my department, and I was about 3 or 4 months pregnant with him. And I remember trying to get jobs everywhere, and they wouldn't hire me, or it just didn't work out. Now I look back and I believe that was just God's plan all along, to just keep closing those doors, because he definitely had it in his plan for me to be a stay-at-home mom. And so I've been a stay-at-home mom since then, since about 2008 is when it happened. And so I stayed home with each kid, every kid, all three of them, all day, every day. And but when JJ was born, we did decide that I needed to maybe make a little bit of extra money, and cleaning houses was the one thing that I knew that I can control my schedule, and I can kind of, work around our crazy lifestyle. And so that's what I did, and it's been my little part-time job has been growing, and I've cleaned so many beautiful homes, and I'm grateful for it. But I'm actually really grateful for this time that I have in the car by myself. As you can hear, there's no background noise, there's nothing. I mean, in a minute I'm going to turn on my radio, and I'm just going to have my little quiet time with God, and just have a little worship time. And it's one of my favorite things to do. I look forward to it every week, that I get to be in this car alone. And I have to tell kids a million times to don't touch your brother, don't do this, stop doing that, I'm on the phone, please be quiet. So yeah, this is what I look forward to. And it's nice because I get a little me time just in general. Like, I clean these houses and I'm just in a me zone. So anyways, I'll be back later to talk some more. I want to make sure I get to my destination safely. All right, guys, bye. Hey guys, so it's about almost 9 o'clock in the morning, and I just finished cleaning an office that I normally clean on Wednesday nights with Tito and the boys, but when we got there last night, there were still people working, so I came today to do it by myself. And I'm waiting because I can't get to my next house till about 9:30, so I'm just waiting here till I have to drive over. But I wanted to share with you guys something that happened probably about 2 years ago or so. Tito approached me and he asked me a question. He was like, "Babe, do you ever pray for the houses that you clean?" And I was like, no, like, never really thought about it. I normally just get in, clean, and get out. But when he asked me, I felt like a little tug at my heart, like maybe I should be praying for these houses and whatnot. So I did. Like, that same week, I remember I started praying over the houses, and I pray for every house, whether it's a one-time clean and it's, I've never met these people in my life, but I'm cleaning the house for the next family to move in. I pray for the family that moved out, and I pray for the family that's moving in, which is great. But for me, what I really, really, really love is when I get to pray for the families that I clean their house on a regular basis, whether it's weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly. I've cleaned some of these houses now for the past 3 to 4 years, so I have gotten to know these families pretty well. And it's really cool because, there are days when I get there and they're still there getting ready for work and school, and we have, conversations. Hey, how are you? How's your week going? And, over time they've gotten to know that who I am. I'm a pastor's wife, and we have this church, and I don't hide the fact that I'm a Christian, that I believe in Jesus, and they know that, and they love it. And so there are times when they'll talk to me a little bit about what they're struggling with, especially with their kids and that, and so it's really cool when you get to know a family and how to pray for them and what to pray for them for, what they're struggling with. And it's great because when you know them by name, I literally go to each room and I pray for each room, each kid by name, and the husband and the wife by name. And it's really awesome. Like, I have this little joke that, like, literally I will pray over the toilet, that whoever's bottom is going to be sitting on this toilet may be blessed. And but you know what, like, it's an awesome thing. And when I pray, like, some of these houses I'm there for 2, sometimes 3 hours, and in that time I'm literally just praying and talking to God. I feel like I'm in constant connection with God for hours at a time, because that's all I'm doing. I'll have my worship music going on my phone,
But I'm just talking to God, and it's so awesome. And it makes my work day go a little faster because I'm not thinking, I'm not being distracted. I'm just literally talking to God. And it's just an amazing feeling to know that, I've taken my little part-time job and I've turned it into a little ministry. And I love that. I love that, I can take God wherever I go. I can turn anything and make it into, including God into it. And that's really, really awesome. The one thing that I love also about my days that I'm working, is because, like I said, when I'm in the car by myself, I just worship and I just pray and I take that time to get ready for the day. And then when I'm at these jobs, I'm literally just praying and talking to God and communicating with him. And it's different when I'm at home, because at home I try to take my time here and there to, talk to God. But it's different when you have 3 little ones running around and always needing something from you, or or we're homeschooling, or I'm cooking, or I'm cleaning. And you have little ones always, Mommy, I'm hungry. And that's a big one in my house. Mommy, I'm hungry. So my time with God gets interrupted a lot, So most of my times with God are spent at night when the boys are already down, and me and Tito are winding our night down, and we'll either pray together or we just do our own thing. But it is different when I'm out on the road by myself, because it's just me and him. No one distracts me. No one asks me a million questions that I've already answered 2 minutes before. And it's become one of my favorite things about what I do, is that I get to help provide financially for my family, and also just bless people and pray for them, and just include God in my everyday life, which is what we all should be doing. It doesn't matter where you're at or what you're doing. You can include God and bring him along with you, and be like, what, Lord, wow, like I'm really struggling today, but you know what, get me through this day, God. Like sometimes that's my prayer. It's like, Lord, I'm in a lot of pain today. I suffer from sciatica, and I'm like, Lord, I need you to help me scrub this toilet to the best of my ability, or to scrub this tub, because right now I am not having it. Like my sciatic is bad. But you can include God in anything you do, and everywhere you go, take him with you. You don't have to confine him to just a church, or to a Bible study, or to a small group. Take him with you wherever you go. He's like my best friend. So anyways, just wanted to share that. I'm going to see if I can head over now to my house so that I can get home early and enjoy my family for the rest of today. We have quite a few things to do today. We have premarital counseling that we're doing for a family member of ours, and then tomorrow we get ready for our youth conference that we'll be participating in from Friday night to all day Saturday. So I'm sure we'll be capturing glimpses and footage of all of that. So anyways, have a good day, guys. Bye.
Guys, I'm here at the church, New Testament Worship Center. We were invited, us and our youth group, to participate in a youth conference, and so we're waiting on a couple of our kids getting here, and we're excited to see. This is things that, when it comes to youth ministry and student ministry, there's a lot of things in which we are starting over. But the beautiful thing that I love about God is that He doesn't expect us always to do everything alone. In fact, one of the things that God loves the most is when God's people come together in unity, and especially when He sees unity in the body, not just one church, but churches coming together. And that's kind of what we're here. We're kind of here to see what it's like, to see how we can continue building. Doesn't matter if there's 400 or 4. Okay, with God it's the majority, and each one matters. Each one matters. started.